Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm Perry Black, and our special guest works for the Supreme Court Justice Barbara Webb. Her name is Jennifer Lancaster. You don't want to miss this show. I'm holding blueprints to a new foster home. We'll be right back. Welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm Perry Black, and on this show we have a very special guest I'm going to introduce to you here in just a moment. Her name is Jennifer Lancaster, and she's with the Republican Women of Arkansas, and I think you said you also work for our Supreme Court Justice Barbara Webb.
Yes, I'm her staff attorney.
And we're going to talk more about that here in just a moment, get to know Jennifer, but you're wondering, aren't you? What are you holding in your hands? These, even though they're in black ink, these are blueprints. Blueprints for what, you may ask? For our next foster home that we're going to be building in the city of Benton on Smithers Road. And if I can convince the city of Bryant, I'm going to build a similar floor plan, same floor plan, just a little modification, right here in the community of Bryant. Because we believe in changing hearts and lives one child at a time. And our viewers, along with our partnership with the Victory Television Network, is making all this possible. Now, Jennifer, tell me a little bit about you. I'm going to lay these plans over here, get them out of the way. But tell me a little bit about you. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Where were you born?
Memphis.
Born in Memphis.
Born in Memphis, grew up in Jonesboro. I moved to Little Rock to go to law school, which is where I met my husband. We got married our last year of law school.
Well, wait a minute, you're going too fast.
Okay.
Tell me, did you go to high school?
I did, Jonesboro High School.
Jonesboro High, home of the Hurricanes.
Exactly, yes.
My sister went there. My older brother went there. The year that I did not go there, we moved to Little Rock to the Methodist Children's Home. And anybody that's old enough, I went to Westside Junior High School in the 9th grade, Annie Camp in Jonesboro. You're saying Annie Camp? No, the old Annie Camp. But you were homeschooled up until high school.
Yes.
Now my daughters, when we moved to Bryant in about 1987, my daughters said, because they were having to make all new friends, they said, "Dad, why don't you just homeschool us?" And I said, "Because I want you to get an education, and I'm not qualified to give you that." My wife probably could have easily, but not me. So you went to Jonesboro High School, then you moved to what college, what university?
Well, I stayed in Jonesboro, and I went to Arkansas State University.
As did I when I got out of the Army.
Okay,
Now, back in the day, was it still the Indians when you went there?
I believe it changed while
To the
I was
Red
there.
Wolves,
Yes,
yeah.
to the Red Wolves. So
Yeah.
Red Wolves now. And then I moved to Little Rock to attend Bowen Law School.
Is that on ULR campus?
Yes.
No?
Well, not on the main campus.
Yeah.
It's off of the highway, off 630. You can usually see it when you're driving up.
Now, before I interrupt you, you mentioned something about a guy and a marriage. Tell me about that. Was that
Yes.
during college, before law school, what?
I met him in law school, and we got married our last year of law school. We took off during spring break, so we will be celebrating our 11-year anniversary.
What's your anniversary date?
March 18th.
And my anniversary, you know, we're both from Jonesboro.
Yes.
I did not go to Jonesboro High, but I went to Annie Camp. I did not go to law school. However, my anniversary is March the 30th.
Oh, okay.
And you will be married in the middle of March. How many years?
11 years.
And I will be married 49.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
and I'm
awesome.
only 25 years old.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. It's a miracle. That's how God is. So, but now I'm going to jump way ahead of my interview since I don't use notes. You mentioned to me just before we started this segment that you and your husband are relief, or what we call respite or relief foster parents for one of our foster homes right here on our 25-acre campus.
Yes.
How did that happen?
It's an interesting story. So I know Lauren Furman, Tony Furman. They're incredible people.
Tony
And
was a school teacher here, as was Lauren. They attend Family Church in Bryant. I believe they were foster parents for the ranch. I believe they are currently fostering in their own home. We just hired in our preschool, one of their grown married foster daughters, and Tony is a House of Representatives.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is we always say it's a small world unless you're walking, and then it's really large. So somehow through Tony and Lauren, you met Billy and Rachel, our daily operations director.
Well, I
right?
heard about the ranch
Yeah.
through them because when Tony was running, he spoke about his experience with the ranch. So that's how I became aware of the ranch. I am the president of the Saline County Republican Women, and last year we hosted a week-long Constitution camp where we teach children about the Constitution, our founding fathers, and the ideals that shaped our founding documents. Well, I just decided to reach out to Lauren to see if there were any kids who were interested in attending the camp.
Yeah.
She connected me with Rachel, and Rachel sent a few kids. And I didn't know which kids were from the ranch, but there were two girls that I just connected with. I think they really liked my hair because they're preteens and they love doing hair. And so they would come up to me and just start braiding my hair. And I just thought they were precious girls. So I got to know them a little bit better than some of the other kids because of that. And the last day, we had a big event where we had water slides and balloons and everything. And I saw them drive away. I had actually been going down the water slide with them. They kept asking me to go down the water slide. So I was going down with them. We spent, the last couple hours together. And when they left, I saw them drive away in a Second Chance Ranch van.
Now, technically, we don't have, I just want to clarify for DCFS, we don't have technically any signage on the vans, but we do have our donors who helped us purchase the van, which was probably $50-some thousand, that said through our generous support from a particular company, which is probably Everett GMC, this van, and it probably had 2CYR on it in real fine print.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how you knew it was the
Yes.
ranch, or maybe something was on the door, probably.
Probably. I
Yeah.
don't remember exactly, but that's how I became aware. So I called Rachel. I really wasn't sure what I was looking for, but I just said, those girls were precious.
Yeah.
If there's anything I can do to help, whether it's just be a mentor of some sort, please let me know. Well, it was clearly God was working, because she said, well, pretty much their respite's covered, everything's covered right now, but we'll let you know. Well, she called back within 48 hours, and she said, well, the respite just took a position elsewhere, so can you take these kids? And I said, sure. And so we have been respite for them for at least 6 months now.
Now, I know you're wondering about Jennifer and her husband and their sanity, so we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Our special guest on this show is named Jennifer Lancaster. I nearly called you Jennifer Lawrence. That would be, we'd have to stop and start recording again. She is one of the two staff attorneys for our Supreme Court Justice, Barbara Webb. Her husband, Doyle Webb, both They are such awesome friends of Second Chance Youth Ranch. Now, Jennifer, I ended the last segment though saying that you and your husbands may have lost your minds. And so I want to remind people, you and your husband, through a series of events that we're going to talk about, became relief or respite foster parents. And a lot, we use these terms like legalese. We use these terms, what I call Christianese. People don't know what we're talking about. What's it mean to be a respite or relief house parent? So we're going to come back and talk about Doyle and Barbara's involvement at Second Chance Youth Ranch. But I want to know, tell me again, how did y'all connect with the ranch? And then how did you take that leap of faith and become respite foster parents, which means when our foster parents would like just to go out to eat or go to a movie or go maybe see their family in another city, the relief foster parents either come to our home or the children come to the foster parents' home. And that would be your house right here in Saline County. So remind our viewers, anybody that hadn't been watching, how did you become aware of Second Chance Youth Ranch?
So I know Lauren and Tony Furman, and during their campaign, I work with them because they're both Republicans. They're very involved with the party.
And Tony is in the House of Representatives.
He is.
He attends Family Church in Bryant.
Yes.
And he and his wife, both of them taught at Arkansas Christian Academy here on campus. Mm-hmm. And they were foster parents for, I don't know, a year or two in town in our Bryant homes. And then I think they're still doing fostering.
Yes.
And now believe she is a case manager for the ranch. I have over 100 employees. It's hard to keep up. And I found out before we started taping that you and your husband actually respite for the ranch.
Yes.
And that means y'all have some of our children for maybe a weekend come to your house and y'all take care of them.
That's right.
Tell me, that all happened because the girls liked your hair, they were braiding
Yes.
your hair, you called Rachel to find out more. Next thing you know, the Holy Spirit has hooked your heart.
That's right. Well, and it's so evident that God was working because at Constitution Camp, it's a week-long event. We had over 70 kids.
Wow.
And yet I really connected with these two girls, and I had no idea they were from the ranch.
Yeah.
I just thought they were really sweet girls. They were very well-mannered,
Yeah.
very smart, very personable. And the last day, we're playing. They're asking me to go down the water slide, which I thought was fun.
Yeah.
Showed how comfortable they are just in
Come
any
with
situation.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, when it was at the very end of camp as the kids are leaving, that's when I realized that they were part of the ranch. And so I reached out to the director, Rachel Hubbard, just asked what we could do, if anything. And again, God worked because during that call, she said, well, I think everything's covered for them.
Yeah.
But within 48 hours, there was a need, and my husband and I were able to fill that need as respite.
That need was the respite foster parent took another position.
Yes.
And so that opened up.
Yes.
And you guys said, okay, we have lost our minds. We'd love to try that.
Why not? Yes.
And it's been pretty exciting.
It's been
really?
wonderful. We've been doing it for 6 going on 7 months now. And yes, the kids come to our house on Friday afternoons, 1 weekend a month, and they stay with us until Sunday afternoon. And they're just a part of our family.
What do y'all do on Sunday morning?
We go to church.
And where is that?
Geyer Springs Baptist Church.
When our building burned 12 years ago, it was on the news everywhere. Then on the freeway, everybody saw it. And the first person in my foyer, the very next morning, he was here before I arrived, was the pastor of Geyer Springs. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law go there. I've got young people from my youth ministry from days gone by that attend there. It's an awesome church and very supportive of fostering, mentoring, adopting. Just recently, they were the host facility for the Hope Conference, which is all about fostering, mentoring, and adopting. So what's it like? You've got 2 children, 5 and 7.
That's right.
And I suspect since you met your husband at law school, he's also an attorney?
He is.
What does he do?
Well, he's in private practice, but right now he is working as the attorney for the special counsel in Wisconsin who's investigating the 2020 election.
Oh my goodness, you're really engaged, really involved. But you and your husband and your 5-year-old and 7-year-old, y'all have as many as 3 of our foster children come on a Friday, stay through Sunday.
Yes.
What's that like? People wonder, I just don't know how anybody could do that. That's got to be hard, is it?
It's really not. It's not. There are some challenges. Of course, you have 5 children in your home,
Yeah.
so there's always activity. There's never, maybe some calm. However, with that said, these kids are so structured because of the foster home that they come from, which is incredible.
Yeah.
They go to bed 7:30. They are in bed when I say it's time for bed. They brush their teeth, they get ready, and they go to bed. And they sleep through the night, and we wake up the next morning and we have breakfast together, and then we go and have fun. We'll go to the pumpkin patch in the fall. We'll do all the Christmas lights and festivities during Christmas. And now that it's getting warm, they're outside a lot, jumping on the trampoline.
Yeah, and you got a swimming pool, they'll be in the water.
That's right.
Now, I just realized that the 3 children that you and your husband, what's his name?
Clint.
Clint, what the 2 of you do with our 3 foster children that come to your house, they come from Jose and Liz Rosso's home right here near us on campus. And Liz worked with the Attorney General, Leslie Rutledge, is that right? Did you know that?
I know she worked in some
that
government
office.
agency.
Yeah, it was for
That's
the
neat.
Attorney General. And I didn't realize that. Again, like I said earlier, joking around, it's a small world.
It is.
And it is a small world when it comes to making a difference in the lives of hurting children. Now here we have 2 attorneys, family of 4, taking in 3 children just for the weekend. And it makes a positive impact in our children in foster care. But let me assure you, it will make a big impact in your personal life too. If you're involved in a local church, a civic organization, a small group, or just a family, and you want to be involved in Second Chance Youth Ranch, will you contact us at 2CYR.org or call us at 501-594-5200. We look forward to hearing from you, and we'll be right back.
My name's Hunter, and my age is 16 now. I like the country. I'm a big fan of animals. I love animals. I used to have dogs, cats, and everything. I had a horse. His name was Lucky. It was like a calf and all that. He would play a lot. I like to play fetch with dogs, and then I go to the park most of the time. So I like playing football. One of my favorite hobbies is football and baseball. Little League baseball I played for a couple of years. School, I have a lot of good grades. I have mostly A's. I have a lot of good grades because I pay attention. Sometimes I get off track, but of course everybody gets off track at some point. I've always wanted to be a police officer. Things like investigating, being the FBI and the SWAT. I've always wanted to help communities. I've wanted a family for a long time because my family wasn't a good family, so I'm trying to get a good lead and try to get back out in a good world. And that's really why I went home, was to feel complete. Because I see other people with families and I get all depressed, and then, I don't know. And God puts his warriors, his best warriors through the most things, which makes them the best person, or one of his main people. That's one thing I've always learned, is that he's going to put you through stuff, and it always has a reason to it. Well, I like country people, of course. Animals are my favorite thing in the world. I've always adored animals. And then I want to be either in the country or around somewhere where I can be peaceful and not have a lot going on. And what I mean by a lot going on is not too much bad things in the neighborhood. No, where everything's still complete. Not too much chaos, just enough to where it still keeps the world spinning and all. I would want them to know that I am very talented. I like to draw. I can be very caring and adoring and all that. I have a lot of different coping skills, and most of them are drawing, coloring, listening to soothing noises. If I had one wish, it would be to have a good and great caring family and someone to look up to.
Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I know that you're enjoying this show because you're getting to know a little bit about what it's like to be involved with our children. Now, I want to strongly encourage you, reach out to us, would you? This show is on the air for one reason, and that's to engage you in fostering, mentoring, and adopting. And I'm telling you, if you would ever just take the time to come out and visit us, to make that phone call and talk to Rachel, it will change your life. Jennifer, has being a respite relief foster parent, having 3 of our children in your home, has it impacted your life, and what do your children say about that? How's it touching their life, 5 and 7 years old?
My kids count down the days until we get the respite kids
Are they
again.
coming again? Are they coming again?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They look forward to it. When we dropped them off not too long ago for this last weekend, my girls cried. They literally cried before we were even out of the driveway.
We don't want them to leave.
They didn't want them to leave. They have so much fun with them, and they're such great kids.
Now, for anyone that doesn't really, again, grasp, or maybe they're just tuning in, what does it mean to be a relief or respite? So give me you pick the 3 of our children up at Friday after school, getting ready to go into spring break and summertime. What would be a typical weekend? What is it different than being a family?
It's really not.
It's actually fun because you
Right.
plan around doing activities, right?
Right. They come over, we get them shortly after school. They come over, play a little bit. I make dinner. We all sit down to dinner together. We usually do a short Bible study after that. Might do a little bit more playing, and then it's usually time to get ready for bed.
Yeah.
And they all go to bed
Right.
at 7. There's no fussing, there's nothing. I usually turn on a 30-minute DVD on the Constitution or our history.
Yeah, there you go.
and they're usually asleep by 7:30.
Saturday, you get up. Kids love to sleep, so you get up, have breakfast or brunch.
We have breakfast together. Usually
Yeah.
make pancakes or some overnight oats. I do encourage them to eat healthy, which sometimes they like, sometimes they don't. Typical family. And then they'll go outside usually and play if we don't have another event planned. If it is raining outside, we'll go to Urban Air.
Is that a trampoline park?
It is a trampoline park, and they just love it. They have the best time.
Yeah.
But this last weekend, the weather was somewhat mild, and we drove around downtown Benton taking pictures in front of the murals, and we got
that's
some
great.
cute pictures.
I really wish that DCFS would let us post our kids and their faces, because when you see their smiles and you probably see their tears, it changes your life. And what a joy it is to have a 5 and 7-year-old. I think when they have interaction with our foster kids, I don't know intellectually, but I think in their hearts, it does something in them to appreciate what they do have. Because it's easy to get focused on maybe not always getting what you want. Now, you work as an attorney for Supreme Court Justice Barbara Webb. Her and her husband Dole were very, very involved from the very beginning of the ranch. When he was a senator, he took me to see the governor and Winthrop Rockefeller. He helped me in the conference rooms with meetings with federal and state officials, endeavoring to get water for the Perrin Water expansion. And that expansion included the ranch, which got all the health department people off of my case. and it was really a miraculous thing. What's it like working for the Supreme Court Justice?
Justice Webb is the best boss anyone could ever hope for. And I think anyone who has ever worked for her will say the same thing. I've heard that from there. She's very compassionate. She's also very smart.
Yeah.
So she really believes in upholding the law and interpreting it just as it's written,
From
which
the
is very
Constitution, not a living, ever-evolving organism.
Right.
She's a constitutionalist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she believes in life and the sanctity of life. And she believes in this ranch and what it stands for and what it's doing.
So she believes in the life of the unborn. And I'm going to emphasize she's a woman, and as a woman, she understands the needs of a woman and the challenges of being a woman, and yet she's still pro-life.
She is very pro-life and very
Yeah.
pro-family.
I call that maternal values.
Yes.
Being a woman, I think they get it, because a lot of times people say, well, it's always the men who write the laws. So you're a lawyer, you're involved in the law, she's a lawyer, and we really want to protect young girls in the womb too. We only have a couple of minutes, but I want you to take about 30 seconds. Look at that camera right there and just tell our viewers all over the Victory Television Network, which is well beyond the scope of Arkansas, why they should be involved in their own community in fostering, mentoring, or adopting, or giving and supporting.
Well, I can tell from my experience, and I can speak on behalf of my family, that we have been touched. We thought we were going to be giving, but we have actually been the recipient of so much joy, and it has unified our family and just brought us even closer together and made us appreciate what we have. By giving to this ranch and participating, you're making your community better, not just for your kids, but also for the kids in our community. So I encourage you to give financially or give of your time. You will be blessed.
And that's what it's about. If you want to be blessed, and I don't think that's really the best way to say it, so let me say it this way. Instead of saying, if you want to be blessed, give your life away, and as a result, you will be blessed. Because I think it's about the motivation of the heart. I don't think you and your husband said, let's be blessed by helping foster children. What you found out is you're blessed by helping children in care. And that's what this show's about. If you're not involved and engaged in some way, why not drop by Family Church Bryant or Geyer Springs Baptist, where Jennifer goes, and run up and say, hey, how can I make a difference in our world, and how can I support you and what you're doing? Because if every church in this state would foster one child, it would change foster care. If one family in every church in the state of Arkansas would adopt one child or one sibling group, this year in 2022, there would be no children waiting for a forever family. That's how simple the process can be. Just like Jennifer and her husband Clint, if you would just make room in your home and in your life, you could change the world and the destiny of one child for all of eternity. God bless you. We look forward to hearing from you right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.